Hello fellow Sonic fans, I'm Kinglink and this is my last look and review at Sonic Mania Encore Dlc. It's also known as Sonic Mania Plus. Honestly, the DLC is called Encore Dlc, but the game changes its name to Sonic Mania Plus. Okay, it's odd, but that's what works here. So we've already talked about how great Sonic Mania is, and it really is amazing. Let's look at the DLC itself. Sonic Mania Plus looks the same as the original game graphically, and again there's no story changes, though it tries a little harder to have one. A few levels that didn't have a level transition in the original Sonic Mania do have a new transition here, though it's a minor change at best. The DLC features a new Encore mode, which opens up with the only new zone in the game, Angel Island Zone. It's very short with only one level and doesn't even have a boss. It really only exists for the player to reach the end and open a capsule that allows the player to choose either Mighty or Ray, the new characters. The other character that you don't choose turns into Heavy Magician from the hard-boiled heavies that we've already fought in the base game. Now, this sounds like it's a really major story element, but it's not. Allow me to explain how Encore mode works. You choose Mighty or Ray, and from there you also learn that you can switch Sonic with your new character, which gives you the ability to use either character's power. It's a great new gameplay feature. You're no longer stuck with the character you choose, but can switch between two characters with different abilities. But wait, there's more. You'll find boxes with the characters you don't have on your team on them, and breaking the box will give you one of those characters. You can earn all 5 characters this way. Groovy. And you can even earn Mighty or Ray the same way. So what was that about the second character turning into Heavy Magician? Honestly, I don't know, and it's a shame because there's really not more story in Encore mode, and that initial opening is just an odd piece of estrangement. Now, the 5 characters, Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Mighty, and Ray, work like lives. So if Sonic dies, Mighty is his partner, Mighty takes over, and the next character will step in as his partner. In addition, there's another box that can actually switch your main character for another on the current team. If your last character dies, however, it's game over. You have to use a continue. So it's an interesting new twist on the game, but I'm not 100% sure if it's actually harder or easier than the original game, though I will say it has a flaw. Earning more characters is earning more lives. There's just not many ways to do that. Really, the only way to reliably earn characters is go to the bonus mode. This time, instead of 25 rings required, you need 50 rings at a checkpoint, and from there, you go into new bonus mode. Though collecting 25 rings is rather easy, carrying 50 rings around can be a bit challenging. Though, if you weren't a fan of the blue sphere minigame, you might cheer up. But hold on. Instead of blue spheres, we now have one pinball table. A single table. Yes, there's slightly interesting pieces of the table. It has 3 levels, a decent flow, but I played it for 10 minutes straight while recording a version of the first look, and it gets old very fast. The game starts on the first level, and the top of the screen gives you a chance to use a crane machine to grab an item. Included in these items are the characters you don't currently have. If you hit the top of the screen twice, whether you gain an item or miss him, the game opens up a second level. Hitting the top of the screen on the second level opens up the third level, and from there every top of the screen hit gives you a chance to grab a new item. Problem with this mode is, after you get every character from the claw machine and a single shield of whatever type you want, there's not much else to do in the bonus level. In fact, I started skipping even entering the bonus levels after about 3 levels, when I was topped off with characters. You can earn continues, but Encore isn't that hard in my opinion, and I had 12 continues when I reached the final boss and only used 1 up to that point. So I'm not really sure if it's supposed to be much harder, but I will say the new gameplay is definitely more dangerous. If you die on the final boss of a level, like I did, you can end with a loop of continuing with one character, dying quickly, and then having to continue again very fast. Of course, there's still not a ton of difficulty in the game, and while Metal Sonic and the final boss are quite difficult, overall I didn't find it vastly harder, but maybe I got lucky with the game. In addition, the new bonus stage, the Ufo Chase minigame from the original, for Emeralds, is back. Like I said in my Sonic Mania review, I'm not good at this mode, only earning 3 emeralds in the base game. In Encore, I tried at least 10 times and I didn't even come close to earning a single emerald. It's harder, much harder. But you know what? That's good. Again, it's a nice challenging mode to reward diehard fans, and I'll accept my loss with grace. How I haven't talked about the levels except the first and only new zone of Encore Mode. However, all the other levels have the same progression as the original game, though every level has been remade from scratch and features all new uses for all the characters' powers, including the new characters. More on those in a second. That means when playing Encore Mode, you get all new levels to race through. They're not much harder, but if you've obsessed over the original game and mastered each level perfectly, the Encore Mode will give you more content to play over and over and over again. Now, we've talked about Encore Mode, and okay, it's not my favorite, but let's talk about the real meat of the game in my opinion. Mighty the Armadillo and Ray the Flying Squirrel. They are actually from the first Sonic arcade game, Sega Sonic the Hedgehog, with Sega Sonic somehow being one word. So Mighty the Armadillo is of course an armadillo. He's granted a ground pound power to slam into the ground hard, but he can also survive one hit while curled into a ball from spiker enemies, a rather useful skill. Ray the Flying Squirrel, on the other hand, is like a better version of Tails. Sorry little buddy, you've been replaced. Ray can glide forward in a vertical direction, and is actually a lot of fun to control in the air. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to show him in this video though. Overall, the two new characters are great, and the fact that they can be used solo in Mania mode gives that mode another reason to be replayed, as if it needed one. Honestly, I like both of these characters a lot, and they're great additions to the base game, as well as Encore Mode. Now, Encore Mode DLC is $5, and that's a good price. I bought it mostly because I love Sonic Mania, and I wanted to give the studio who made the original game a little more money. Encore Mode itself is hit or miss. I really dislike the bonus mode, and I think I've made my case. I can't stress it enough though, it's dull after about a minute in it. And I'm a huge Pinball and Sonic Spinball fan. That shouldn't have been so bad. Yet, the new Encore Mode, the new characters, and the new levels are good. And in that, I like Encore Mode. It's just not as good as the original game. I give the Sonic Mania Encore DLC a 4 out of 5. It's worthy. It's just not as worthy as the original game, and that's a bit of shame because I really love Sonic Mania. But really, I want a little more than just remixed levels for $5. The characters are great additions, but just having one new zone would have been better. That's just my opinion, but it's the one that matters on this site. So, that's now the end of Sonic Mania, unless we get surprised with more DLC in the near future. I hope you enjoyed it. It's honestly a great game, and I'm glad to talk about it again. I wanted to ask, what is your favorite Sonic game, or your least favorite? Up to you to talk about the best or the worst down in the comments. Coming up next, well, I'm getting hungry, and rather than cook for myself, I'm going to challenge someone else to make a meal. We have Battle Chef Brigade coming up next. It's going to be a very interesting game. If you've enjoyed this, or are looking forward to that, please consider subscribing. Remember, we're trying to get to 200 subscribers and making great progress, but in addition, I'm still looking at E3 and getting new games from publishers. Every subscriber counts on both of those. So just like Mighty and Ray joined Sonic's team, why don't you join Kinglink team? Until next time, I'm Kinglink, and thank you for watching.